All right, everyone, welcome back. I'm sure you have heard about the Blackhawk and the American Airlines jet that crashed. I found some very weird information tying back to the Blackhawk, which is what you're seeing right here. Here's the squawk number 0125. This was labeled as PAT-25, which usually means someone important was on the helicopter. The media is saying different. Take that with a grain of salt. Anyway, this is exactly the point where the transponder of the Blackhawk turned on. So we are able to follow it from the second it turns on here. Here's part of its path. It kind of comes down this river, zigzags, and then eventually, as I'm sure many of you saw, it collides with that airplane right about here. But what's important here, and I want you to focus on this, is exactly where this transponder turned on, because this area is very significant, and I'm going to show you why right now. So the first thing I did, obviously, was go to Google Earth, and I found this exact area. And here it is right here. Here's Lawton Street. You can go back. This is also Lawton Street, and this is part of Lawton Street as well. Now look exactly where this thing turns on. Right here in between this home and this home. Now I'm going to go right to this spot closest to the street right here. Here we go. Switch over to Google Earth. We'll zoom down, and this house is right here. The transponder turned on right here above these trees, and here is the kicker, my friends. When you go on Google Earth, usually you see most of the houses on Street View. The only house blurred out is this one. Right here, take a look at this. We're going to turn around this way. Gone. You cannot see this house from any angle on Google Earth. Now, this is something you can call Google Earth and request if you have issues, privacy concerns. You can have this done. But I mean, come on. What are the chances of this? This is exactly where that helicopter transponder turned on, and the only spot we can start following the chopper. So let's exit out of here. Once again, here is that house with the white driveway. This is the house that's blurred out. The transponder turned on right here over these trees. Now, I'm still trying to figure out what to make of this, but I went to Grok, and it's pretty interesting what Grok responded. All right, here we go. If the flight data indicates that the Blackhawk's helicopter transponder went on directly over 6907 Lawton Street, McLean, Virginia, and this is the only house blurred out in that area, several points can be considered. Obviously, coincidence or connection. The coincidence of the transponder activating directly over a blurred house could be significant, but without specific details or official reports linking the two events will remain speculative. Obviously, it's going to remain that way. They are saying this was a training exercise. I still believe there is way more to this. Now, just take a look at this one real quick. It says flight data and timing. If the transponder data aligns with the moment of the crash or shortly before, this could be a key piece of information for investigators. However, the activation of a transponder over a particular point doesn't inherently imply a direct cause or effect with the crash unless further evidence supports this. Now, obviously, I do believe that as well. This could be a total coincidence, but I just find it very, very weird how the one house blurred out in this entire freaking town is the one house this transponder turned on over. And now if we can catch some of this flight, let's go ahead and look at it. I'm sure a lot of you have seen it, but here we go. And there's the crash there. So this thing was zigzagging all over the place. And there were some instances where this helicopter was almost going towards other airplanes before it finally made contact with the American Airlines jet. And this is the last frame we have where they make contact and fall into the river. I don't know, everybody. This is just very strange. And also, I broke this yesterday that the Doomsday plane left Omaha right after the crash and flew directly to Washington, D.C. This plane is only used for like very specific things, very high military stuff, transporting important people like the president, which then in that case would be called Air Force One. But this thing literally beelined from Omaha, Nebraska, all the way to the site of the crash, looped around and then landed at Joint Base Andrews. Here's another shot of it. This is when it came in towards Washington, looped around the area of the crash, and then it's going to circle and go right to Andrews right here. Now, for those of you that know what this plane is for, you already know that this is super rare. I talked to multiple members of the military, active and retired, who said that this is a key part of this story. They didn't say why or what, but they said if this thing's in the area after a crash like that, something very important happened that we probably don't know about. All right, my friends, I wanted to try to keep this short so we could digest this information in shorter videos. I'll have much more info out throughout the day. Check out the X, Instagram, and TikTok channels, as well as YouTube, obviously, because as always, I can talk about certain things on certain sites and other things on others. All right, everyone, prayers to all involved. Please leave your thoughts down below, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.
The approach, I'm stumbling over my words here because this is just so staggering that there is a mid-air collision involving a commercial airliner. Commercial flights are equipped for ages with a system called TCAS, Traffic Collision Avoidance System. It tells the pilots in the cockpit how to avoid other airplanes nearby. It is a system that came about because of mid-air collisions with commercial airliners and small general aviation aircraft, commercial airliners, and helicopters. It tells the pilots, there's traffic ahead of you, climb now, descend now. This would be an incredible lining up of the holes in the Swiss cheese, which is the saying in aviation, the gaps in the safety chain in aviation, that this happened. And now investigators have an incredible amount of work cut out for them to figure out how a commercial airliner in the United States in 2025, when the pilots are incredibly trained, the technology is incredibly sharp, collided with what is apparently a military or government helicopter. Nobody else uses the Blackhawk.
Yeah.
It is really something else. I'm just stunned.
Breaking news, I have called over to my counterparts at the White House, and I can confirm that President Trump has been made aware of this situation. And tragically, it appears that a military helicopter collided with a regional jet at DCA Airport right here in Washington, D.C. That's all I can confirm at this point in time. And I can just say that the thoughts and the prayers of the entire Trump administration are with all those that are involved. And we ask the public in this area to please stand by for guidance from law enforcement and allow them to do their jobs as they attempt to save lives right now.